I've been a fan of the Elixir since it came out, and it does exactly what I need to do. Long off the tee, holds a lot of greens. I can easily spin it with the wedges. Performs very well, okay? When the new ball came out, the Vero X1, I was skeptical because they say it's longer off the tee, but usually that means it's a harder cover. Well, it's not a harder cover. It's just as spinny as the Elixir, but it just pounces off the face. It is amazing. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for an extra couple yards off the tee and still want that same spin number that you get in your wedges and your irons and everything else. It is an awesome ball. Team Encore. See that? Got me for life.
For more information, their website is www.encoregolf.com. And be more with Encore.
Houdini? Wow. Baby's got back. Houdini. Houdini. That's pretty cool. I'm an escape artist myself.
So what is it?
The easiest club you'll ever play.
Is that Bernhard? Oh, great. Langer.
You know why I play Tour Edge? Because I win with it.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
And welcome back to Big's Golf Talk, BGT-TV, right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, on your Alexa devices, and don't forget to subscribe with us on YouTube for BGT-TV. And this segment is sponsored by Tour Edge Golf.
Pound for pound?
Nothing comes close. I play with it because I win with it. Although, if I ever get on the golf course, that is.
Then you're in trouble.
Yes. I am Big John Quick. He is the golf father, Bill Cuevas, and she is the golf diva, Amanda Sensor. And Billy, what the heck is that?
What's what?
I hear. Anybody hear it beeping? No? Huh? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my ears.
I hear like a high pitch.
That's what I hear. I thought
it's not a beeping. It's just high pitch, like frequency.
Oh, no, I don't hear anything on this side. So
that's because you're deaf. But
no, sorry. I was just trying to figure out. Maybe it's me.
I'm looking. I just lifted up my thing. I'm looking around. I don't see anything.
I hear it. It's not like crazy. It's just you can hear like a high pitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Tech issues. Get the tech team on it.
New Year's, the first show of 2022. Goodbye, 2021. Hello, 2022. And I'm not a big guy on New Year's resolutions because I never keep them.
Well, there's being truthful.
Yeah, that's it, man.
What about you guys? Are you guys a big on New Year's resolutions? And the silence comes up. We're crying.
Well, no, because it's not a. I guess it's not a hard question, but it becomes a hard question because, in some sense, no. I'm very good at keeping like resolutions that have more to do with like my mindset,
or
emotional goals.
Lifestyle. Like, so it's like, okay, this year I'm gonna focus on being. So my New Year's resolution this year, personally, was that when I'm going to be more mindful of what I say. So the things that I do say, I'm following through with them. So if I'm not prepared to follow through, then you need to not say it. So like simple things, like I'm going to start using the cold tub at the gym, and it's a really hard thing to like acclimate to, but I'm not verbalizing it until I'm ready to commit to it, because I feel like your brain needs to work on that. Like,
that's a good point, because I said to myself, and I haven't talked to my wife about it. I haven't talked to anybody around me here in New Mexico, but I did tell tell Billy about it because I don't know why I told Billy. I just said, you know what, I'm not going to tell anybody else, but I'm just gonna. And I slowly kind of moved into going back on a modified keto diet. You know, yes, down 20 pounds over a couple weeks. So, I'm trying to do it in my own mind, where I don't want to say anything negative about somebody that I feel like I'm getting hounded by people.
Yeah, I think it's your thing. And so it needs to be your thing. And so with resolutions, the ones that I have trouble sticking to, like as far as me, like diet and lifestyle, I kind of always cycle through. It's not a New Year's resolution. Like I ebb and flow through the year with that. Like when I feel like I'm going through a rough patch, I kind of hype up on my diet and my extra, you know, and vice versa. But I think with the lifestyle ones, or like doing something, you kind of just got to buckle down and do it. I feel like the people that talk about it a lot and are going to advertise it a lot don't follow through.
You know, like now I'm sitting here and yeah, Bill, I want to be, just as I came out of the bathroom, went over, I got one slice of bacon because my stomach was growling so bad. I felt like I was not feeling well. You know, and what I had this morning, I had a hard-boiled egg and a slice of bacon, you know, but it's now.
It's all about moderation. And you know, honestly, if you don't tell anybody, you know, sharing it with anybody, you're probably better off. You know what I mean? Because you just do you. And I tell you that. And I understand, because the more people you tell, the more people, hey, are you supposed to be doing that? I thought you were doing this. And that just makes you feel bad. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like you just said, I went in, my stomach was hurting. I wanted to go grab a piece of bacon. You don't want anybody to micromanage what you're doing. You're doing it for yourself. I mean, I went to the doctor. I'm down 6 pounds from one doctor's appointment to yesterday's doctor's appointment, another 2 pounds from yesterday's doctor's appointment. I'm not on a keto diet. I am on the lots of stress.
Well, that's the thing too. I'm on a stress diet as well. I got a lot of stress going on right now too. Yeah. You know, personally and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you get to when you have that kind of stress, and I'm the type of person, I don't talk about my stress. No, you know, there's people are going through life and going through their different things. You know, Billy, you know, feeds off of me. I feed off of Billy. But you know, when we do that, there's no judgment, and there's no, and you know, people in our lives love us and they mean well, but a lot of times we just want to vent without any kind of solution, without any kind of person saying, "Oh, you should do this," or "You should do this."
Right.
Absolutely. You know, and the people around me love me enough that they want to solve the issue. Well, I don't want. Sometimes I don't need the issue solved, or sometimes there's just no solution that anybody else can do for me. I have to do for myself.
You just want support.
Yes. And that's the key. If you can get support without anybody throwing their opinion or what they want, you know, for you to do, know you already know what you were doing wrong. You have to fix it. I can't fix it. That's why I said I listen. You know me. I listen to what you gotta say, man. And if you know if I
even know, I mean, how often do I even throw my stress on you? I barely do, because I'm 54 years old. That's just how I've been doing things for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, when I was living on the road, I didn't have anybody to turn to when I was doing baseball and stuff on the road and everything. I just dealt with it myself and keep it in myself, or in some other form or way, playing golf or whatever the case might be. Yeah. But it wasn't, and I'm not used to, you know, Shayna is my first legal wife. Okay. So I'm not used to having that partnership in where, you know, the partnership is, well, you should really, you know, de-stress with me. I'm your wife, you know, or she should de-stress with me. I'm her husband. And I'm not trying to sound sexist, but the fact to me and how I've grown up, my father was the man of the house. My mom, if she was stressed, needed to unstress with my father. My father worked 4 or 5 jobs to keep a roof over our head when I was a kid, but I never heard him talk about his stress.
Yeah.
I did not know anything about my father's stress until I was 19 years old. And that was when we were working with the same company and we became friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
you know?
I agree. I think, yeah, it's definitely, I just through relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship or a platonic friendship, you know, we have to like we can't expect the other person to handle or react the same way we would or we should. And so, you know, it's exactly what you said, Biggs, where it's that other person might say, well, why aren't you coming to me? You know, but at the same time, like if you grow up from a different background where that isn't what you do or what you're familiar with, oh my gosh, like, I mean, just even, you know, being married and going through those things with, you know, a significant other, you realize that you grow up very differently and you handle.
Well, not only that, but I've been married less than 2 years. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning about my relationship, my marriage, and what I'm supposed to be like a husband. You know, I've never been married before. So this is, I'm still learning this. Yes, I live with women, you know, and I've been, you know, it
is different.
But it's a different ball of wax. Anyway, this is not what we're discussion. We talked about during the break what we're going to talk about. We've been 11 minutes into this topic here.
I just want to say one thing. My favorite relationship and best relationship that I've had to date is with my therapist. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Let's go. And I'm looking forward to my first visit. I have found somebody, and you know, so I'm looking forward to that visit. And
you know, they're going to tell you, Vince, talk to your friend. That's what they kept saying. They actually, I tell you, don't talk to anybody. Talk to your friends. Let them know how you feel. Let them know what's going on in your life. Share that, and the more you do, the more happy you're going to be. I hope your therapist is somewhere along mine, and mine is.
And I just want to tell people out there that's suffering from some kind of stress, mental anguish. You know, you're tired. Reach out for help.
Absolutely.
Because at some point you're gonna have that total meltdown, that total breakdown. I've been there where I didn't want to live anymore. You know, and I'm sure at one point all of us have felt that way when we're just at our limit and we're like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done with life. I'm done with, you know, ask for help, reach out to somebody. And
I love life, but I know where you've been. I've seen a lot of people that have gotten there. I think ultimately, I thank God that I've never been there. I have my kids. I have other people that I think I actually love my children more than I love myself. And I think that's what's helping me now in life, period. Yeah. You know, my twins are 19, and honestly, with everything that's happened in the last 8-9 months, I've never been closer to them. They're amazing young human beings, and my whole entire life, the last 19 years, I've lived for them. I've come through everything in my life.
But Bill, you actually learned something about your kids as this has developed, and you know, and you thought your kids were going to feel something different about you as a father, and you found out it was a total opposite, and actually brought you closer together.
Honestly, it's beautiful. So if you need help, speak.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Speak. Yeah. Talk to somebody. Call us. Send us a message. We have friends that reach out. You'll be amazed at how many people are going through the same thing that we're going through. Yep. And the only way in
the golf industry, I'll tell you what, I think golf is right where we're gonna. You know, it's in a good place right now. PNC Championship. You know, we haven't been on for a couple of weeks because of the holidays, but we haven't yet to talk about. Congratulations to John Daly and JD2 and you know, on the win at the PNC. Tiger Woods and Charlie in second place, given that great comeback on that, you know, Saturday on the final round. And, you know, it was just great to see them, you know, but you could tell Tiger was dad during that whole thing, because he did that for the passion of Charlie wanted to really try and win that tournament. And you could tell that Tiger was hurting. And you could certainly see he's long away from playing professional golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, it's that bittersweet things. You know what I mean? You look at that,
and what we do for our children, like you mentioned earlier,
exactly.
Bill.
These are the things as parents. You know, they did not choose to be in this world. We chose to bring our children into this world, and mine or my life, plain and simple. I will die for them, plain and simple. I would do whatever.
Someday
I can.
Amanda will experience what it would be like to be a mom and know that feeling. But I'm sure, you know, her mom and her dad know that feeling and helping her through her professional career and, you know, being there for
Amanda's
her.
a perfect example. I mean, her dad was on her back. They supported her dreams regardless of what they were. They've been there. We've seen it, you know, with everything that she's doing. And you need that. You know, you have to support your children. They didn't ask to be here. We, as parents, decided to bring them in. It's our job to protect them. And yes, not everybody will do that. And there's a lot.
I'll tell you what, there was great coverage in the PNC Championship showing the kids. And certainly the kids stole the show. John Daly, JD2, really carried his dad. Charlie, the same thing, carrying Tiger during that round. We see Matt Kuchar and his kid out there. You know, I'm going to turn to you, Amanda, first. The state of golf, I think we're in great shape seeing these kids and you know, in the future of our golf and of the industry and the professional tour.
Yeah, there were a couple photographs floating around afterward of I know Charlie and I think it might have been Matt Kuchar's son, you know, kind of buddied up and just these photos that I saw of, like you said, this next generation coming in. I think it is in a great state, a great place. Like the fact that these kids, I know we hear all the time as we're trying to grow the game, that maybe there's a lack of interest in golf, or that there's not that passion for golf like we've seen with Rory and all of these guys that are kind of the younger echelon. But I think that's just, it's what you grow up with. If you're Charlie and you've been around golf your whole life, of course you're excited. Your dad's a pro golfer. And he's taken, it's kind of whatever direction they're kind of weaved. So I think it's great. I love seeing it, and I love seeing, you know, I think they should do something very similar for the women's tour and have, but I know that once again, it is more of a male dominant thing. And even in kids, a lot of females don't start golf until much later in life. They're not groomed at 6 or 7, like some of these kids were, but
because not necessarily mama's going to the golf course, but daddy is.
Right.
Daddy's like, okay, I'll take, come on, let's go. Daddy wants to get 9 holes in. Come on.
But I'm with you, Charlie, you know, and just the kids, their ability not only to handle themselves on the golf side, but like on the public side and being in the spotlight. Let me tell you, I've played a lot of professional golf under a lot of pressure. And those kids, like Charlie, he just acts like and even John Daly said that there's no, like, they're just out with their buddies.
Yeah.
Like,
and to hear the young people being in attendance, and as these guys are walking through the crowd, you know, come on, Charlie, you know, and to see Charlie keep his composure as he's walking.
Tiger, it's just the cutest thing in the world. But they're really good too. They're not just mimicking. They're all of them are very talented.
Yeah. And see JD2 hitting over 300 yards is crazy.
Twisted my arm. I'm envious of Charlie. Okay? I turned off the TV because of him. When you're watching a little kid, it's just not right. Wasn't fair. So
how about Charlie hitting his wood for a second shot, 230 yards?
3-wood or 5-wood that he hit it over the green. I was like, yeah. It is sick, man. It's pure sickness. It's a beautiful thing.
I've always had, like, kids have such an advantage in learning a new trade or skill because that fear isn't there, and naivety, kind of stuff. If you don't know that you can fail, you're limitless to what you can do. And I think as we get older, I know for me personally, the older I get, the more cautious, the more I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to do this. I don't want to make a fool of myself. But if you go back to that, you know, me as a 7-year-old probably didn't care, probably was like, bring it on, you know,
or didn't understand what it meant. You know,
I
think back at when I was 10 years old, did I really know what that kind of stuff meant? I don't think I did.
No. And did you worry about falling off something, or, you know, like now I'm like, if I climb up on the step ladder to pull the thing off the top of the tree, I'm like, okay, pay attention, Amanda. When you're a kid, you're jumping up there. You don't care if you fall. That's an aftermath. That's not a forefront thought. So it's cool to see these kids just go out there and say, I got this, Dad. Don't worry.
Not to mention, so I was watching last year's drive, chip, and putt. And, you know, to see those kids too do what they do on the most hollow ground of golf.
That's right. Senora Rodriguez, remember the little one?
Yeah.
Kissy Couture.
Yes.
Them sisters, the Rodriguez sisters, they're amazing. We've had them on the show. God bless you. The things that they've done with that chip, what is the chip, putt, and drive?
Drive, chip, and putt,
It's amazing. It's amazing. They are the future, man.
It's cool.
And,
it's really cool to see how the industry we love so much, and we want to, you know, be a part of growing it so much, on what the growth is doing every step of the way. And, you know, certainly, you know, when that time comes, we can sit back and watch all these young people become stars, you know?
Yep.
Did you see that video of Charlie? Like, his dad hit a shot. So Charlie tees off, you know, whatever and then his dad hits his shot on the par 3, and it, like, I think it either went way left or way right.
Way right,
yeah. And Charlie, like, looks back and he's like, oh. Like,
come on, Dad, get with it.
Like, gosh, you know, this guy.
Well, I mean, Charlie, this kid's 10 years old. I know we got to take a break. We'll get there. This kid's 10 years old. On that same par 3, he hit his shot. He put his head down, and it was pin high to the right of the green, but it was pin high.
I know.
And he was disappointed with it.
Disappointed. But you know what's funny? Charlie, Tiger's just dad.
Right.
To us, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, and he's like, come on, Dad, get it together, you know. So it's such
he riles him up too. It's just great to see, you know.
It is. It's awesome, man. All right, Mr. Producer keeps telling us to take a break.
The one thing I want to say is we got to get JD2 in Square's shoes, and Squares was well represented out there at the PNC Championship with Nick Faldo, Sir Nick Faldo, and John Daly out there giving some time and TV time to Squares.
Honestly, I think the only reason we can't and we won't,
because he can't accept the sponsorship because of college.
He's in college,
right?
And the college uses all one company, and that's what he's obligated to wear.
Yeah,
so it could happen in the future. We don't know.
Exactly. All right, Amanda, have a great weekend.
Adios,
our first show of 2022, and Bill and I, we're going to stop off at the halfway house, get a hot dog, and to the back 9 we go here on
Finish strong, boys.
All right.
Yes, we're going to finish strong
right after this.